Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our studio guest this morning is Catherine Robinson. I got it right, didn't I? She's a health and personal development coach. Woohoo!
Welcome.
Hi, lovely to see you again. Both of you had such a good time last time, so I'm happy.
And you were nervous last time.
Yeah, I was excited.
But you don't look nervous this time.
Yeah,
I think we're more nervous.
Yes, I'm more nervous. I'm getting older, I can tell.
You
It's
look
funny.
beautiful.
Well, we had a
Thank you.
situation,
It's
that's
funny.
why.
Well, I was talking on the phone to my son.
Not while
and
driving, though.
No, I was parked. I parked in the next block thinking it was this block because I was talking on the bloody phone. And so I got out of the car, left my purse and my keys on the seat. So, you know,
You're here.
You made it.
that was a big senior moment, I tell you.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Looking
But you were
composed.
resourceful.
know-
You were able to make it here.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's interesting
you
because I
sought
pulled
help
out.
and you
Yeah.
got help.
And I got help from a Brit also. He owns the winery up there, and it was open. So he came out with his hook and hooked the key rings off the seat and brought it through the window. Because I
Wow.
always roll the window just a smidge to keep air in there so it doesn't get so hot.
Well, that was your saving grace.
Oh boy, you aren't kidding.
So it's pretty cool, though. He was able to do that. So he does do two things. He has a winery and he breaks into cars.
Yes, and he said, I thought I recognized you. We were, Adele and a couple of women's, the DBE, Daughters of the British Empire, ate lunch there yesterday. He said, I thought I recognized you.
Daughters
Anyway.
of the British Empire.
Yes, Daughters of the British Empire.
Pretty cool. You all have accents?
We're all British.
Yeah, and I'm surrounded by accents today.
Yes, you are.
Pretty
Yes,
good.
we are. Yes. Yeah, it's a great group.
So, Catherine, how are you going to coach us today?
I think I
Well-
need a lot of it after what I just been through.
Barbara has shown she has resourcefulness.
Absolutely.
And that's a really key component of having a successful life is resourcefulness.
Oh, it is.
Or asking for help.
Get it done one way or the other.
Yep.
Like great minds think alike.
I know.
With agility.
Yes.
That's good.
I don't know about agility. That means movement, doesn't it?
But mental movement.
Oh, mental agility.
Yes, mental
Okay,
agility.
mental agility.
You were able to
All right.
get here and, be seated where you are and get this show going.
Better late than never.
Yeah. With agility.
And grace.
There we are. Anyway, Catherine, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you guys.
Yes, and you're not nervous anymore.
I'm still got the same excitement.
That's good. That's good.
And enthusiasm.
That's right.
And agility.
Oh,
And
thank
agility.
you. Yeah. Like a cat? Like your cat? Is she agile or is she getting older?
She's 16.
Oh, wow.
And for some reason, of course, I take her outside in the morning and in the afternoon because I go out and sit in the chair and drink my cup of coffee and read my paper and eat my toast. And she's walking around out there. She'll go sniffing around. And if she goes too far, I pick up the broom. And as soon as she sees that broom, she comes scurrying back.
Oh.
But anyway, somehow she got fleas.
What?
Oh.
Yes. And poor little thing, she's been scratching like crazy. So I went to the, wherever I go
The
when I
chemist?
take her. No,
The vet?
the pet place where I take them to have their shots. And she gave me some liquid to pour on the back of her neck so she can't get to it. Well, it hasn't done any good yet. Of course, this just happened yesterday.
Oh.
So I'm thinking, but You can see these bloody things. They're teeny tiny little black
Sleep.
creatures. Yeah.
Wow.
And every time they come to the top of her fur, I flip it off. But I can't see how putting liquid on the back of her neck is going to kill the fleas. That doesn't make any sense. So if they aren't gone by tomorrow, I'm going to go find something else. Because she's miserable, absolutely miserable. And I don't like it either because she sleeps around on top of my head.
Uh-oh.
She sleeps on my pillow.
What's that in your hair?
Catherine's not going to come back anymore if we keep this up.
See, I love it. I always have so much fun here.
But it's being agile once again. That's
Well, maybe
part of
if
what we think we stimulate these thought processes in Santa Clarita, especially related to older adults. And there are circumstances that seniors or older adults all face that they have to be agile and making sure they make it through the day.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? How do you, Catherine? How do you get them going? How do you make them take that leap?
So to get them motivated and moving through the day is actually all about them having a strong purpose. And that's my topic today on my show at 1 p.m. is having that strong purpose. And often when they're not got motivation and they're saying, oh, I can't be bothered,
Yes.
always roots back to they're confused with their purpose. They don't know why they're getting out of bed in the morning. So if you don't know why, you are going to often just hit the snooze button and stay in bed. And we've all had those days. So it's about, again, clarifying what's their purpose for this stage of life. What's going to be their goal that they're working towards to keep them growing and learning and to keep them fascinated about life so that they can have that fuel to make them last through the day. And then also not being too hard on yourself, not beating yourself up and thinking that you have to have this big massive goal. Just whatever it is that brings you joy, whatever it is that makes you happy, and then holding them accountable, making sure they follow through. So that's a big part of what I do is making sure, okay, when they set a goal, make sure it's realistic so they can follow through and they don't set themselves up for failure, but also then holding them accountable and, questioning them on all of the stories that we assign to why we don't do things.
And getting them to plan the next day so that they have something to get up for.
Yes.
Because there's been a couple of times recently when my next day has not had anything going. And I'll wake up that morning and I think, no, I'll stay in bed a little longer. And then I'm thinking, no. And of course, Ginger helps quite a bit. As soon as she sees my eyes open, that's it. Mummy's up.
She sounds like quite a character.
Oh, she is. She really is. And I have to pet her and love her before I get out of the bed. Because she's right there. She won't go.
She's demanding it.
She is, and she goes, row, 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 row. And she's a lifesaver. She really is. An absolute lifesaver.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she's in good health, even though she's 16.
Wow.
And I don't know what I'd do without her.
Yeah, you've got meaning in life for spending time with the cat and helping
There's
the cat
purpose
as
in
well. There's
itself.
purpose in that.
Oh, I love
Getting rid
and-
of Ginger's fleas.
Well, it's interesting.
We're
No,
all going to be
Yeah, I know.
she waits at the back door. She waits for me to come out with my plate of fruit and toast and my coffee. She's right there at that door. She's, come on. And if I don't come, she'll come up to the kitchen door, the kitchen out, down the hall, and she'll row. Come on, Mom. Come on. Let's go.
She's very vocal. I love that you have
she
this
is.
routine, Barbara, that you're getting up and you're having your tea and you're having your toast,
Oh,
which is
yes.
very British, I have to say.
Yes, I know it
Tea
is.
and toast or toast and tea.
Routine.
And not having tea. I'm having coffee, though.
Coffee, good. Yeah.
Tea in the afternoon.
Coffee to get you going, tea to just keep you going. Yeah, I like that. So you've got this nice routine as well. I like that. That's very important as well.
It is.
Yeah, having
And-
some sort of routine.
Yeah, and then Friday morning I have an 8 o'clock meeting, and I'm thinking that means I get up at 5 and get outside as soon as it gets light. Otherwise, I won't get out there until I come back. So
Ginger won't be happy.
no, she
So
won't.
let's talk about purpose. It's really important that one, in finding their purpose, they have with it.
Sorry, there's Ginger.
They have with purpose.
She's a beauty.
Well, we're passing around cell phone pictures.
She's a beauty.
Ginger.
Oh, I
Nice
didn't know she
Ginger.
was as beautiful as that.
Oh yeah, she's
yeah.
she's a
How
lovely
cute.
kitty. She is.
Beautiful
There's
little face.
There's purpose right
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
That's defined
Do you
it.
see Kitty? Do you see Ginger? She's a calico.
Yeah.
She doesn't look like a calico, but she does have the
Red.
orange and the black.
Oh, lovely.
forehead.
Yeah, but
Beautiful
her
eyes.
her sister, who passed away 4 or 5 months ago, she was a true calico. You could tell. But yeah, and she misses Spice. They were Ginger and Spice.
Oh, Ginger and Spice.
and
They were
all
both
things
very
nice.
All things nice. Yeah, that's so clever. I love that.
And my granddaughter for Christmas last year had some mats made, floor mats to put the cat dishes on, and it says Ginger and Spice and all things nice. She gave me 2 of them.
That's lovely. How many grandchildren do you have?
I have 6 grandchildren
Lovely.
and 6 great grandchildren.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
And
and one of my grandchildren, Shannon, is there at the house now. She's cleaning house for me.
Oh, good girl.
Well, I did have Karina, and Shannon needed some money. She didn't want to go back to summer school because she teaches or challenged deaf kids because she's a deaf and hard of hearing specialist, and she didn't want to go to summer school. And I said, I'll give you a job here if you want to come down here once a week and clean house for me, plus go through all the photographs. And then 3 days a week she'll be working at my son's dispensary up in Rosamond.
Oh, wow.
So she doesn't have to work summer school, and she's absolutely
Perfect.
beside herself.
That's great.
Gives
and
her
she's with her
purpose.
family.
Yeah, that
And it's helping
family.
you.
Oh yes, it's helping me because I don't like cleaning house.
But that
I'm
is
not a
purpose,
fan of
isn't it?
cleaning either.
It is purpose,
It's
though, isn't it?
purpose, though.
You know, you can find every nook and cranny has a purpose.
Absolutely.
And you just have to find the one you have passion for. And our older adults need to try to find it, and sometimes they don't. And how do you pull that out of them? It's not easy, but in discussion, talking with them, for those caregivers and friends who see their loved ones who might be an older adult and even listening to our show, they might find, hey, let me talk to them and see what they might, want to get themselves into. Because there are lots of things other than fleas that we can do.
Yeah, I mean, they can think about what they loved doing when they were younger. They say between the ages of 7 and 10, what were you doing? What did you spend most of your time doing? What did you love? And okay, it doesn't have to be exactly like that, but whatever you were doing then it's still
Well,
who
it
you are.
gets the mind moving.
Yes.
Thinking, wait a minute, what did I do when I was 10 years old? And it really gets you thinking. And then when you go that far back, you stop intermittently all the way along. And that also gives you something to, oh yeah, I used to do that and I used to do that. Why not do it now?
You remember all your accomplishments. And it gives you
Absolutely.
strength to do more.
Yes, it does.
When you
Yes,
doubt
it
yourself,
does.
you think, well, I did all those things, so surely I could do more. When you start doubting and kind of losing the faith, you can always look at your list of accomplishments and then say, well, I didn't think I could do those.
That's right.
So maybe I can do more.
That's right.
Purpose.
Purpose.
That is it's a very simple word, but it has such a meaning.
It's
It
powerful.
really does when you stop and think about it. Purpose.
Yep.
My granddaughter would do that in sign language, and I don't know how to do that. Purpose.
Yeah.
With a little ginger and spice.
There you are. Without the fleas.
Without the
right.
fleas.
And without me doing a stupid thing like locking all my car keys, my
And your
purse, everything in the car.
Yeah.
Isn't that
It
ridiculous?
was meant to happen. You were meant to meet
I
that man
guess-
again.
I know. Isn't that interesting?
Well, good luck on your show today. Now, what's the name of your show at 1
Happy,
o'clock
healthy
today?
you.
Happy,
Healthy you.
healthy you. Y-O-U.
You as in university.
Oh, yeah.
And it's at 1 p.m. the very first show, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll be giving some tools for people to take away with them so they can physically feel a difference and have something practical that they can use to help them.
Now, will you be having a guest?
Not today. Today it's all about me providing content value and some experiential learning as well.
So this is going to be your first show then?
Yes.
Oh, that's so exciting.
That is
That's
Absolutely.
wonderful. Now you won't be nervous anymore.
I'll be excited as
Focus.
usual.
Yes.
Yeah.
And any tips?
Mhm.
Any tips? Because you guys are been doing this a long time.
Good
Well, I
heavens.
would say you have to have purpose. And you indeed do.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
This is, you've realized, as we have all realized, that the seniors need that purpose, and everybody does.
You are so right.
And it's great when you find it.
Yeah.
Well, it was so nice having you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love being here.
Yes, that's good. And next time, hopefully, I won't be leaving my car keys in the car and locking them. Oh, dear. Anyway, thanks again for coming. And
Thank
we'll
you,
see you
both of
next time.
Thank you.
Great. It's time to take a break. Yes, I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Introducing Oakmont of Valencia, Oakmont's second luxury senior living community in Santa Clarita. At Oakmont of Valencia, you'll have access to full-time assisted living services provided by compassionate staff in the privacy of your own home. Oakmont's Diabetic Wellness Program offers assistance with monitoring and managing glucose levels, meals, exercise, and activities. Oakmont of Valencia offers a fully equipped wellness center and concierge medicine program, allowing outside physicians to visit on site. Discover the care your loved one deserves in a resort-style setting. Visit oakmontofvalencia.com.
Aloha, friends! Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
Do you like to rock across Africa?
Then the wait is over.
Africa Rocks! Africa's Greatest Hits is now available at the San Diego Zoo! And who could forget 99 red baboons?
Or the African crested porcupine smash hit, I Got Quills to Pay the Bills. Hey, don't get too close.
And the hits keep on coming!
Africa Rocks has all your favorites from 6 different African habitats.
Hungry like a leopard!
Ibex is back.
Harder, better, Fossa stronger!
And a new track from Kendrick Lamar.
Now, Larry,
Yes, Chuck?
a collection of this magnitude, I'd fly to Africa!
Well, don't pack your bags, friend. Africa Rocks is only available right here at the San Diego Zoo.
Wow, that really does rock.
No, it Africa Rocks.
Welcome to Africa Rocks. Experience 6 different African habitats, including our first ever aquatic enclosure with African penguins. Only at the San Diego Zoo.
You see so much when you look at your child. A creative spirit that surprises you every day. Curiosity that develops into exploring unique passions. A little leader growing every day to discover who they are, what they love, and how they can make their mark on the world. At SCVI, we see those same amazing things. Our tuition-free K-12 charter school gives your child boundless opportunities to think critically and imagine freely, with a customized learning program built around each individual student. As iLead's founding school, SCVI combines an immersive approach to traditional subject learning with extracurricular activities including STEAM, robotics, theater, music, and sports. SCVI has the only international baccalaureate program in Santa Clarita, with a 10-year proven track record of graduates excelling at top universities. And we're in your backyard, just off the 5 freeway in West Santa Clarita Valley in Castaic. For enrollment information or to learn more about our program, including homeschool options, visit iLeadSantaClarita.org. iLead Schools, free to think, inspired to lead.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Dr. Gene Dorio with my co-host Barbara Cochran on your hometown station 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS. We're talking with Myles McNamara, our sponsor, and you know, Myles, for years you and I and Barbara we've discussed our older adults here in Santa Clarita, and I think that discussion has brought about a great understanding and education in many of caregivers and older adults about what they are going to do and how they are going to handle life. And of course, one of the problems that we see, unfortunately, is those who are pushed into nursing homes.
Right.
And what we want, you know, is for our seniors to age in place, stay in their home. And I think we all have played a role in trying to make sure that they indeed do. That is not an easy idea or concept, but it is now flourishing here in the state of California as we are developing a master plan for aging. The County of Los Angeles is doing it with their aging in place. So we in our community have already taken a leap in that direction, and Comfort Keepers has played a huge role in doing that. We have discussed this philosophy, this understanding, Myles, and we have moved forward with our older adults staying in place because of your organization.
Right, and home care in the scope of things is a relatively new industry, a couple decades worth, but it's amazing how many people still don't know what they don't know. Mm-hmm. I overuse that phrase a lot, but home care is really the answer, because seniors, you know, as they're aging, you know, that scary, you always hear, first of all, the adult kids, who I want to caution, don't make promises that you don't know what they entail, as far as I'll never put you in a home, because sometimes the care will exceed their ability to care for them. Mm-hmm. But even home care, even though we're non-medical and focused on the activities of daily living and helping mom and dad, you know, shower and bathe and eat and eat nutritiously and take their meds on time, which is really important, preventing that slip and fall that results in a broken hip or a head trauma. But yeah, seniors want to stay in their own home, and home care provides that, because there's still a huge confusion, and I must say with physicians a lot too. It's interesting, the difference between home health and home care. Because home health is prescribed by the physician. The nurse will come in for an hour or much, much less and attend to wound care, whatever the medical needs are in that particular situation, and then they're gone.
They're limited.
They're gone.
Very much so.
So now
you know, a certain amount of time they get, and you are done.
Right.
And you're on your own after that.
And so now you have a senior who may be a bit cognitively impaired, maybe physically impaired, and you know, the adult children are working and taking care of their own family. And so you start to look at the options. Well, mom or dad can't be at home by themselves. And then you start looking at that placement and taking them outside of their home and putting them, I mean, there's a lot of great assisted living facilities out there. There's board and cares, but it's not their own home. And so our comfort keepers will come in. We first go in and assess with my care manager and decide what care plan best suits their needs. And then we put together a care plan that keeps them in their home. And we have a huge amount of clients that are cognitively impaired, so they can't be left alone. And so we just allow them the opportunity to stay where they want to stay. Our adult kids are a lot of times, in that sandwich generation, which is a term we hear a lot now, where they're trying to take care of their own children and their family and their jobs, and then they have to run over and make sure that mom ate and took her meds, and the cupboards are stocked, the refrigerator is stocked, etc. And we try to focus on letting our adult kids be the kids and go over and spend quality time with mom or dad. Don't go over and spend the short time you have being the chore master or the caregiver, and then you don't have the time to sit and connect with your loved ones and just spend quality time with them. But the seniors that we help, we see isolation and depression is huge among our seniors. And so
loneliness,
with all the skill sets that my comfort keepers have, the simplest and most undervalued portion of what we do is companionship. Is to get them out of that depression and loneliness and despair. And a lot of times our clients have just recently lost a spouse of multiple decades, and the family rallies around, and they're there for the funeral and in the morning, but then they've got to disperse back to their own life. And here we have mom or dad or their surviving spouse. What's next? They can't just be left alone in the house. So really proud of the service that we do provide, and that allows our seniors to stay in their own homes, and getting them re-engaged in society. If they're able, getting them out to our local senior center, or just out for an ice cream cone, or but then again, when it comes to the skill set tasks of making sure that they don't have that slip and fall in the shower. Because a lot of time that's the beginning of the end for our seniors, if they break a hip or, God forbid, a serious head trauma, and then making sure they take their medications on time, because I know you as a physician, you see at the top of the list why seniors are admitted into the hospital is the mismanagement of their meds.
Their own meds.
And then, sometimes they're mixing old and obsolete, for lack of a better term, or expired medications with their new medications. It becomes an interactive issue. They don't interact properly. So again, we can't set the meds. We can't obviously prescribe, but if we have the family or home health can come in and set up that med tray, and we have a schedule of when the meds are to be taken on what particular day and what particular time, we can oversee that.
But the best part is that when Comfort Keepers comes in, you recognize that the medication is not organized,
right?
Which helps me a lot when I come in to do a house call as well, because then you point that out to me, and then I know that could be playing a role in why they were just hospitalized.
Right. And a lot of times, especially with the old dog days of summer coming up, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but for the listeners is, we'll get calls sometimes that says, mom was driving last week and she was doing all this stuff independently, but now she has dementia and she can't do anything. And it's like, whoa, let roll back a minute. I'm quite certain, I'm not a doctor, but I played one on TV, that mom probably is dehydrated. She got a urinary tract infection, and those symptoms are very similar to dementia. They get disoriented, they become forgetful, and no, Alzheimer's or other dementia does not come on within a week. So she probably is dehydrated and she has a UTI, and so these are the things that we try to educate not only our seniors, but our adult children. And maybe it is time for a neurological workup. Maybe it's time to go and have, an exam to see, what we call a mini mental, and see if there is any onset of cognitive impairment. So there's a progression. So no, mom or dad will not become disabled from dementia in a week's time, and then, what we talked about before air is what is sad, and it's happened a couple times, that our adult kids, back to that overused phrase, don't know what they don't know, is they haven't taken the time to get the legal authority to speak on behalf of their parents. They go to talk to you, Dr. Dorio, and you say, where's your advanced healthcare directive? I can't talk to you because that's a HIPAA violation. We got a call last week from a prospective client, daughter, and dad's insurance, because some of the Medicare Advantage plans that we've talked about on prior shows are starting to cover home care. And this particular insurance policy was an Advantage plan. It was United Healthcare. They do cover home care, but that's an additional rider that has to be added to the policy, because when they looked at this person's evidence of coverage, home care wasn't part of it. So now dad is in a position where he can't really talk on his own behalf anymore. And she can't call the insurance company to make those changes because she's not on the document. She's not an advanced health care directive agent. And so now they're sort of in a pickle, and I'm working with them to see how we can circumvent that. But, you know, I feel like the cliche master, but people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. So while you're able to get the legal documents in place to speak on behalf of your parents if they can't speak on behalf of themselves, and then a quick reversal, if you have an 18-year-old or older child, they're now legally an adult. You can't pull the dad or mom card anymore. You've got to have advanced health care directives in place for your adult children. But let's stay focused on seniors for a minute. And it's incredibly disheartening when they are in a situation where they are no legal documents to help their parents. So, you know, advanced healthcare directives, you can have one for everything. You can have one for financial. You can have one for medical. But you need to have legal documents drawn up that designates you and others, there can be multiple agents, that are able to speak on your behalf if you're unable to do so. And it's frightening when they're in that situation and they go to talk to the doctor and the doctor has to give them the hand because the doctor's bound by HIPAA and regulations as well, and hospitals and the entire medical network.
And do you think those who are listening right now, the caregivers and even our older adults who tune into our show, that they cringe a little bit when they hear legal?
Yeah.
They hear the terms power of attorney and HIPAA and terms that tend to, you know, put a blank stare in one's vision when you start worrying about the future and what you're going to do. And sometimes people just, since it goes over their head, they just ignore it.
Yeah.
And some are listening now and just ignoring it. But if anything, go online and start looking some of this up. That should be your first step. You should have an understanding of this. You really don't want to be lost in the dark and allow your family to have the same sense and feeling in the near future or the far future if something comes up, some health care disaster starts to take place. It should be out there, and we should all be prepared. But what I constantly see in settings where a disaster, a healthcare disaster is starting to take place, the paperwork is not there.
Yeah.
And it, you know, even though all the TV shows, the television shows, this show has continued to say it, you know, Myles, we're still not getting the word out, Barbara, are we? And, you know, how we can do that. You know, we go to the senior center, we tell them it's better, a lot better, but we still have to capture many more before I think all of us will feel comfortable that everybody is in a position where the decisions that you want made by your family are out there right in front of us, and that discussion has taken place in writing, and also verbally that discussion has taken place with your family and your doctor.
And we call it the talk. I mean, you should have the talk before it's an issue. It's basically, and we've talked about this before, but it's so important that you have to plot the roadmap of what your journey looks like with your choices when you're still able to make those choices.
I'm so glad Russ did that. It's amazing. I just went along with him, but he had the power of attorney, which I had. We had, and I had power of attorney for him, and we had no problems. And as far as getting health care for him in home health, we had long-term care insurance, which paid a third, which was better than nothing.
Right.
And he had made arrangements for investments and things like that that I would be taken care of also. And unfortunately, we had to dip into some of those investments to take care of him. But they were there.
But you looked at the roadmap and you said, this is the route I want to take.
And the talk was made, and
that's exactly right.
And, you know, I honestly think that the talk, family members, the kids, the sandwich generation and others, they're a little bit afraid to have that talk with their parents. You know, this sometimes is, you know, discussion that they feel might be even threatening and make their loved one worry. But, you know, and because of that, sometimes it doesn't happen. I think the talk should be initiated by the doctor.
Yeah.
When they go to a doctor office or a visit, or if they're hospitalized, that discussion should take place. But doctors, in the same way, are not so much reluctant, they just don't do it. You know, nowadays you're in there for 5 minutes and, you know, what about that sore throat? You know, why are you limping now? Things like that. You know, you want to take care of the medical problems, you know, but there are legal, psychosocial, and other ramifications that should take place. And somehow we need to incorporate that in the doctor discussion, that talk.
Right.
And I don't think my profession has done that yet.
Right.
We need to work on that.
Yes, and we need to take a break, don't we?
That too.
I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS.
Daily Imprints is the premier one-stop shop for custom embroidery, screen printing, and promotional products in the Santa Clarita Valley. Owners Joe and Dana have provided KHTS with quality embroidered company shirts for over 3 years. If it's new business cards or promotional products you need to enhance your image, Daily Imprints is the choice for you. Located on Lyons Avenue, stop by or call today, 661-678-0508.
La Esmeralda is home to truly authentic Mexican food. This family-owned restaurant prides itself on its fresh-to-order menu. Even the tortillas are made in-house. If you have a taste for sizzling fajitas, flautas, or menudo, you have to try La Esmeralda's Mexican and Seafood Restaurant. Dine in or order out for the most authentic Mexican food Santa Clarita has to offer. Their Taco Tuesdays, it'll turn you into a regular. La Esmeralda on Bouquet at Haskell.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome to the Senior Hour. The following is paid programming and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM and AM 1220 KHTS. And our guest now, we're speaking with Myles McNamara of Comfort Keepers in Home Care, which I have used, and many people around here are using now and have used. It's a great service.
Well, thank you, Barbara. And like I said, we want to keep our seniors in their home, and like we were talking about before the break, is look ahead, make that map, like you and Russ did.
Have the talk.
And the talk and the thing you ended on before the break, Dr. Dorio, is so important is the kids will benefit as much as our seniors, because how many times as a physician have you seen the kids out in the hallway arguing about what mom or dad would have wanted, or they would have wanted this, or if they would have wanted that? But if you had that talk, if you made your map, if you planned your journey, it takes away the guilt of the remaining family and the adult kids, because you don't have to make the gray area decisions. I mean, we've seen seniors plot their journey all the way as far as what songs they want played at their memorial. You know, so if you make those decisions in a legal document, then you don't have to argue. You don't have to wonder what mom would have said here or dad would have wanted there. It's all laid out. But the biggest thing I hear a lot of our clients too say, "Oh, I'm on the checking account." Well, your name on the checking account is nowhere close of having advanced healthcare directive, because if your loved one passes, they freeze those accounts. You know, and just because you're a signatory on the account doesn't mean anything. And even though when our loved one passes, there may still be bills to pay, mortgages, what have you. So just having your name on their checking account may not work, you know. So when things go, you know, and they freeze the accounts, and if you have no legal documents in place and the entire estate gets thrown into probate, and then the courts start to make those decisions, just as before we were talking off air, Dr. Dorio, that before our loved one passes, if there's medical decisions to be made at the hospital, it again is taken out of the hands of the family and put in the hands of the courts and the doctors. And you could probably address that.
That's the last thing that you want to have, is someone else making medical decisions not on behalf of your loved one.
Right.
That's the worst thing that could possibly happen, especially if you know what your loved one wanted and want the direction they want to go, but yet somebody else is making that decision. And that's reprehensible to me, but it all starts going back to the talk. It's like the talk is like the birds and the bees. You know, once you have that talk with your kids, then, hey, you feel comfortable. Things are in place. You know, you've done the best you can. You know, same with end of life and the direction one wants to go. You know, you have that talk and then you feel comfortable. You will not have guilt. You will feel better that that talk has taken place. You know the road that your loved one wants to take, and you will have control of that. And you will have control of assets. Probate doesn't need to be involved. Taxes will be minimal. Nest eggs will remain. There's so many positive things for the talk.
Imagine taking a test that you knew all the answers to.
Yeah.
You know, and that's basically what the
There you
talk
go.
does.
Very
That's
good.
what the Advanced Healthcare Directive does. It's like having the answer key at your side when the test gets plopped on your desk. So really, if you're listening, folks, if you haven't done it, for your adult children as well, but most definitely for your seniors, because God forbid something happened to one of your 18-year-old or older children and you can't speak on their behalf, but have that talk, make your map, have the answer key to that test before it's given.
That's right. And it's so important to have it in writing.
Yeah.
So
Well, to make it legal, you have to. You have to have it
Yes.
done by an
Has to be
attorney.
right.
You have to have it notarized. You have to have, I mean, it has to be in writing.
And I'm in the process now of rewriting the trust, because it was a crazy way it happened, and it was split into two parts. And Randall said, "Wait a minute, this has to be changed." So now we're putting it into one whole one.
Yeah, and if I may, just real
And-
quick, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Barbara. There's so many things available online, but be careful going online and just get cookie cutter stuff,
be careful.
because there's so many dynamics in today's age. You've got his and hers and ours and all these different
Absolutely.
things. So the cookie cutter, document you can get may work for some, but there's so many different varying dynamics that I would go to an elder law attorney that you trust
Absolutely.
and have it done, put everything
done correctly.
exactly.
And that person, that attorney, knows the law.
And then when that next step happens and we lose our loved one, then they can execute the trust and
That's right.
and pull it through and do everything with that roadmap intact.
That's exactly right. And it really, really is so important to do it.
Yeah.
It really is.
Myles, you know, we have these great conversations. We put it out there, the talk, and, you know, what our older adults need to know. It's really important that if they have any questions, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, I'm right here on Lyons Avenue, 661-287-4200. 287-4200. You can simply go to comfortkeepers.com and help me out or hunt me out. You know, then of course either call a KHTS if you're driving and can't write any of that down. They know how to get a hold of me as well. But what we do, it's a free, no obligation assessment. We'll come in, we'll talk to the family, we'll tell you what we recommend, and then the decision is yours.
Great, Myles. We had the talk today. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care, Myles McNamara, and Advanced Audiology. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.
Thank